So Jonathan, why don't you quickly introduce yourself since you are the winner of tonight? You know that our plan is that, my plan is that for winner to be the speaker for the night. Jonathan, could you introduce yourself?
Sure, so, do you want me to go up there? Or?
Sure, yeah, come over.
Yeah.
Jonathan!
Hi, my name's Jonathan Liu. I'm one of the officers in TJCC SFBA. Was it funny? Sorry, I'm a little sick.
You're a great rock, paper, scissors guy.
Oh, thank you. I think I won half of them by accident. Another team not knowing that I wasn't ready yet. So, yeah, I'm in TJCC SFBA. I'm actually looking to get into digital marketing.
Great, so you are the speaker tonight.
So, that would not be a good idea.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks, bye, Jonathan. All right, without further ado, let's watch some video.
Customer service is a big deal to us, so it doesn't have to be a big deal to you.
Oh, sorry.
With Xfinity
not
from
see here.
Comcast.
There we go. Where is my mouse? Where?
You can get email alerts.
You have two screens?
Texts.
Hold on. Here,
Yeah.
I found it. Great.
Customer service is a big deal to us, so it doesn't have to be a big deal to you. With Xfinity from Comcast, you can get email alerts or texts, manage your account online, and count on our 2-hour appointment windows. Because in the end, it's the entertainment that matters. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
All right. Let's watch another video.
What we need you to help me is by disconnecting our service. That's how you can help me. Because that's what I want. That's what I want. Okay, so why is that what you want? Because that's what I want.
This is Ryan Block. When he made this call, he'd already signed on with a new provider. His mind was made up. He just wanted to cancel.
Ryan is that you're not wanting to have the #1 rated internet service, #1 rated TV service available. I'm declining to state we're switching providers. So why not keep what you know works? What you know is a good service? Because we're not doing it. So please proceed with disconnecting our service.
All right. Great. Why am I showing that video? Because marketing only works when product works. If you are saying that you are the best customer service company, but then everyone knows you are not, then your marketing doesn't work. So today, the same thing. We all know this is a friendly airline. And the friendly airline does have to draw people off the flights. So do you think their marketing will work? Probably not. So today, instead of talking about marketing, I'm going to talk about product first. Because only product work, your marketing will work. And your marketing will heavily rely on how your product works to decide how you do your marketing. And you guys are techies, so it should be easy. So today, I'm going to talk about two things. And we have some quiz, especially for the winner and everyone also. So one thing is to talk about product sense. What does it mean is that we'll talk about how to turn an ambiguous problem into a very concrete product solutions. And after tonight, you can all interview at Facebook or Google because everyone actually, all product manager interview do exactly the same thing. And on the market, you can actually see 3 books about that. And second thing I'll talk about is product marketing. Then we'll talk about how we communicate the product through right message, right audience, and with the right channel. That's it. That's all we're doing for tonight. First, product sense. How we turn an ambiguous problem into a product solutions. And we'll talk about three things. What's the mission? What are the goals? And what's the problem? And what's the solution? That's all. Simple. So now everyone, including the winner, why don't we, not sure everyone has paper or phone, start and open your phone and answer this question for me. If you are the product manager at Facebook, how would you build a product to help airline company consumers to fly to solve their complaint problem because of a flight delay? We have 20 seconds. Think about it. Yeah, it's not. But then maybe we want to do something to help an airline company, like the United you saw before. Everyone have 10 seconds to think about it. Everyone think about it. Write down your question answers in your phone or your hand. I will call someone. All right, winner. How would you do?
Maybe send out some kind of notifications regarding any kind of delays.
Okay, you will send some notifications. All right. So first of all, how about your answer is that we'll send notification, or how about we think of who will use a product? Who here will think that we will do for the Gold members? Silver member? 1K? Non-member? Who haven't raised their hands? So, who do you think we build for? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because the problem is that you should never think of you building for one person. You start thinking of breaking down the giant problem into small pieces. So instead of thinking of, I will build for the Gold member or 1K or the winner or what, you actually start thinking of what the ecosystem looks like. So what we'll do is that thinking of like, okay, I can build for non-member, silver member, Gold member. What's the pro and con of each of them? What's each of their needs? For example, you're like, oh, you know what? I can divide this segment into like frequencies. Or I can think of for different flyer categories, such as they are for fun, for work, parents, or kids. And what's the pro and con of each of them? Can someone give me an example? Yes. So they are angry, but they are which category they are most angry? Maybe Gold member is very angry. How about any others? Like any other category you think that they will be great to need to be solve this problem, and why? Yep.
The travelers with little kids or urgent, like they are traveling for urgent events and then they cannot be delayed.
Yeah, those people probably be horrible. The kid will be like crying, and it's really hard to deal with that. Probably business person also really angry too, right? Because like I paid big dollar, like I'm 1K member. You didn't put me on the first list to get out. Doesn't matter. Actually, doesn't matter. What matters is the first step is you think through all possible segments and think of pro and con of solve the problem of each of them, and which one is the biggest problem to solve, and also you can solve it. Because maybe the biggest problem is solve the kids, but Facebook, what can Facebook do with it? Nothing, right? So the first step is break the giant problem into small pieces by thinking of segment them differently and the pro and con of each of them. That's first step. All right. Again, let's think about identify some solutions. You got the one solutions. Oh, send out notification. What other solutions? We think of some problems before, right? That people will be really bored or there's kids. Go ahead. What's your name?
Me?
Yes.
So from this picture, are you hinting that Facebook might promote their games and say, hey,
No, that was one of my ideas. How about others? Like other solutions? Any other solutions?
Maybe like free Wi-Fi so people can stream videos.
Yeah, free Wi-Fi. People can streaming videos. What else?
Maybe work with the local dining
Uh-huh.
Free food.
Dining airport for the free food. Great. Everybody got free tacos. Like McDonald's. I used to work at McDonald's. Actually, I actually never got free food at McDonald's because they offer franchisee. I have to pay my own food. Like I got this idea. It's like, oh, I will build a Candy Crush because for airport special edition. This way the people can kill time. The truth is, doesn't matter. Before you jump into a solution, don't think of solution at all. Great product, start with you think of, and don't think of solution, don't think of you will look at some data, you will look at some research, yes. But the first step you do is thinking of all possibility and what's the pro and con. Because a great product is not about the solution. Solution is after you go through the thought process. In the end, it will naturally come out. You don't even need to think about solution. Not at all. What does it mean? For example, here, like, okay, what would you build a product for airport delayed? You start thinking of why would you even do that? Like, you asked me a great question, like, why would Facebook do that? Perfect. Start thinking of a mission. Oh, someone, here is someone we have business, running small business. Anyone? We have probably have some Chamber of Commerce. Great. What business?
Consulting.
Consultings. Great. So you probably think of the first thing you think of people about what's their mission? For example, Facebook is like, oh, we want to bring the world closer together. So that's why we have community. That's why you can connect to your old friends, old grandparents and kids. And then what's up? Maybe the problem. The problem that I can select any of this. Like you say loyalty 1K will be great. Gold member will be great. I say after all of analyzing your pro and con, I select the one that is non-member. Because they are like, they are not loyal. So with one delay, they probably go to other airline companies right away. But that's my choice. You can have your own choice. Doesn't matter. And then from there, what solutions? Oh, what's their problem? Those people were not members, so that means they probably travel not very frequently. They never not very loyal. Therefore, they're probably not very in a hurry because they're probably not business traveler, and therefore they're probably pretty bored in the airport. So what I would do is that, in my case, I say, you know what, I'm going to do a yoga class in the airport, and then Facebook will create events real time, and then we'll get all people together, and they will play yoga and Candy Crush together. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. But only one thing matters. One thing is that you remember from your mission, from your problem, from your solution. It has to be one single line that you can never forget about it. So for example, your idea say, hey, we need to do push notification. Great. But start thinking of like what problem are you solving for whom? And then what is it to achieve your goal that you want to do as a company? So that's first step. Anya, tonight we're talking about marketing. Like, what are you doing this with marketing for? Like, what marketing will be doing? Like, we're engineers, we can build that, we know that very well. Marketing, at this point, is bring some consumer insights to help people to know what I just talked about. Let me give you an example. Can I go back to the video? Can we play the video a little bit louder?
Mexico's first destination is America. But America's first destination is not Mexico. So, we went to a typical American town to ask why they don't consider Mexico an option to travel to.
Would you consider going to Mexico?
In a way, the idea of going to Mexico is not something that I would proceed.
That's not my cup of tea.
Let me stay here in peace and let those folks stay on their side of the border.
Do you like tequila?
Yes.
Do you like burritos?
Yeah.
Do you like Mexico?
Yeah.
So to Mexico, well, so how do we increase USA flights to Mexico if a big part of Americans just don't like Mexico? According to the Department of Homeland Security, Mexican immigration goes as far as the 1800s settling in on the South, meaning that a big percentage of Mexican descendants in the USA doesn't even know it yet. So we did a DNA test to prove it and turn those results into discounts. The more Mexican they are, the more discount they get.
Joshua, you are 18% Mexican. Oh, wow. So you get 18% off the flight to Mexico. Charlotte, you are 14.4% Mexican. 22% Mexican. That's bullshit. You are 18% Mexican. Well, that's better than you. So you get 22% off the flight to Mexico. Oh, come on now. Seriously? Yeah. That's for real? So what if I want to take my wife? Eligible for a 15% discount to go to Mexico. What do you think about that?
I love discounts.
Sorry, Betsy. You're only 3% Mexican.
So we kept getting discounts all over Southern America in our travel agencies. Inner discounts. There are no borders within us.
So what does this mean? Means that while you are building the product, as what I just described, for example, you say we need to have like something for offer for kids and parents because they are going to be really annoying in the airport. How do we know? How do we know people why don't they take Mexican airline? We need consumer insights. And that's where marketing team support. Marketing do not just do advertising. Marketing is a voice of a consumer before you even build a product. So when I decided I should do a yoga class or should I do a Candy Crush, there's a moment when marketing team come in to help you to think of like what's the insight. And like in this case, the insight was they don't take Mexican airline just because they don't like Mexican. So then how do we change it? We make them feel that they know them, they are actually Mexicans. So what do they do? Insight means we should think about who should we build this product for and why we should we build it and all other questions as well. All right, quiz number 2. You are the product manager for Target and e-commerce division for tablet, which means anyone buys something on the tablet of the Target sites, you get your bonus. What would you build? Volunteers? Who? Who was the previous winner who won the second place? Who was the second place? Jen or Jean? Who? Here. How would you do?
Well, I think I will first find out, what do the consumers want.
Yeah, what do the consumer wants?
Yeah, if they use
Perfect.
that tablet, what are they looking for? What do they want?
What do they want? Great, start with the consumers. Great. But now we go to the advanced level. If it's the same answers, why would you do twice? So we go to advanced. So the advanced is not just only about knowing about the consumers, but also you have to make sure you are doing something between your consumer can do and your company is perfect at. No one else can compete with you. For example, Mexican airline, which airline company can say, let's testing your DNA if you have whatever. Probably from Techie Airlines, you have a Taiwanese, it's probably pretty hard for other people to do so, right?
Excuse me, Anya.
Yes.
Let me break in, okay? It's unrealistic. You know how much it costs to test the DNA? it's actually at least in a multitude of 20 times or at least 10 to 15 times the price of the ticket.
Yeah, but they probably not everyone go test it, and they probably don't run campaign forever. They may be running for a month and shut it down. Now they just use the same advertising again and again and again.
It's cheating.
Right? You will get it at the time, but I'm sure there are other better creative ideas. That's a good point, though. I didn't know that. I was really hoping to get my DNA done at the time, and I missed the deadline. Now I know why. So it starts with a consumer. For example, like in the Target case, who's the target audience?
Women.
Mom, yes. Yeah. You are the young moms. Like you go to the Target store, you're like, you know what? I really don't need a shopping cart. I'm just coming here and buy a milk. For 5 minutes, I'll be out of the store. After half an hour, you have a giant car with full of stuff on the top and the bottom. And then like you're still like walking around. Wow, this is so cute. Oh my God. That's Target's point, their strengths. What's their strengths? Their strengths is like They are home, baby, or apparels, and full of the Target design stuff. If you don't believe me, let me show you a quick video and you'll see how do they do those things. How about we run something about Jason Wu, since he is a Taiwanese American as well. Let's see. So this is what Target were really good at, because they are really good at like the design, the apparel. So then let's see how we use it. Here we go. So what I decided to do, so when I started, they say, you know what, you can do anything on tablets. And Apple just launched tablets, so we don't have any app. None really have website. We have desktop, which can render on your tablet, not functioning very well. You can do whatever you like. You can build a site, build an app. You can do nothing, just doing marketing, affiliate, or whatsoever. How would you build? But only requirement is, right now is March, before end of October, which is before Christmas time, we need to make 1 million incremental revenue per day. There was a requirement. I only have few engineers and only have few months. How would you build? Can someone tell me maybe something that you won't build to start? How won't you build? Who was the third winner? I remember we have what was the name? Victor, yes. Team Victor. Where's Victor? Now Victor disappears. Great. How about you build? So I decided we only build few things. Nonetheless, I didn't build coupon. I decided not to build price comparison. Decided not to build registry. You can get married next year. You don't need to get married before Christmas, right? And I decided not going to do anything in-store mode, because who was my audience? Mom. Where mom use iPad? At home, on the couch, lean back moment. Oh my God, this is so cute, right? Killing times. So decide not to do store mode, and decide to do only two things. Table state, which is whatever will remove the blockers. Anything that the consumer will not be able to, like as a basic. For example, my revenue goal was e-commerce revenue. So I have to get shopping carts, right? At least they need to be able to shop. I need to fix for crash, because if it's crash rate 40%, cannot work. So get the basic, right? And the value prop. What's the value prop? Back to the problem. What was the problem? In this case, now the problem was a value. The value was inspiration. Just like when you go to the store. Oh my God, it's so cute. It's so cute. And then, so bring the inspiration online. Therefore, this was the core for how I solve the problem. Let's look at how I solve the problems in the end. Oh, let's look at target video first, and then look at the products.
Everything you need to make summer fun. Expect more, pay less.
So this is how you feel like when you go to a store, right? You were like, you know what, I really don't need that, and then you did. And this is what ended up what I built.
It's time to get appy, like really appy, because the new Target app for iPad makes shopping as easy as tap, tap, done. You can even see which Target style items are currently trending on Instagram. #awesome, right? Just think of it as target app for iPad. It's going to change the way you shop.
So what did I build? I built something about inspiration, because that's what my competitor cannot do, and that's something that only I can do well. If you think of that, for competitor cannot do, Walmart is about pricing, Amazon is about fulfillment, eBay is assortment. No way I can win any of this. So great. So no way I can win any of this. So then what I decide to do, the stuff that I can win. The same thing for our first exercise, remember? Think of where your problem, like people's problem to solve, and the solution you provide, and what only you can do the better than anyone else. All right, we talk about product sense. Now we talk about product marketing. Now you think of the problem, the person, and now you bring this together. How would you reach them? Tell them that you already solve your problems. Audience, channel, and message. So I will talk about three. In product marketing, there are three things which product marketing does. Number one, provide consumer insight, which earlier we talked about using the insight like the Mexican airline, or maybe the insight in the future will be something else that is different from that. And maybe the second thing that we do was about go-to-market and positioning. I'm going to spend most of time on positioning now. And then after that, I will tell you a little bit about outbound marketing, which is what most people are familiar with the marketing, which is outbound, deliver advertising to people. But before that, I will talk about positioning. I had the honor to work with this lady. Her name is Andy Collingham. Andy was actually the person who positioning Apple for Steve Jobs. She was a lucky person, and I'm really lucky that after that she retired, of course, and then she started her own boutique firm. And then Facebook, I hired her last year, to help me to positioning our Wi-Fi product to the world. That's how lucky I am. So this is how she published a book, which you see here, about product positioning and for marketing, part of marketing tactics. And all the books was actually about these slides. Brand and positioning. Branding and positioning is actually two sides of the same thing. Positioning is about the rational. Branding is the emotional. But it's the same thing, exactly the same thing. But you do positioning first before you do the branding. Because without thinking of rational, whatever your emotional will be just nice looking stuff on the wall, doesn't matter. So there are many elements here, but today I'm going to focus on ABC three things. Just these three things. Number one, we'll talk about a product, your DNA of the company. Why? I will tell you momentarily. Second thing, I will talk about positioning statement, which is what's your value props and how marketing can deliver a value prop to consumers through communication. And the third thing is we'll talk about brand archetypes. What does it mean? I don't get it. Okay. First of all, consumer DNA, company DNA. Were you a product company, customer service company, or concept company? Think of your product. All right, everybody votes. Like, if in your mind your company or your product have today, because you are Chamber of Commerce, or some of you guys may have business. How many of you guys are the product company? What's product company? Means your product is good. You sell your product by features and functions. Product. Raise your hand. Anyone? Great. Product people. Perfect. You guys like Facebook. Customer service. Great. Customer service. Just like Apple, they used to be kind of product or concept company. Now they are customer service, and Amazon's customer service. And concept companies. Concept company means usually great. You know what? You guys are so honest. Because in real world, when we do this consultation for companies, 90% of the companies say we are a concept company. We are bringing a new concept to the world. But the truth is that most of companies never been concept company. Because what required is like you need to have a really celebrity, controversial, strong personality leader. Seriously, that's how Apple was before. That's how Tesla is today. And most of companies actually don't never really bring new concept to people, even though they all say they want to, but they don't. So the truth is most companies are in the product or customer service. Why it matter? Think of this. Amazon is customer-centric companies. So then their positioning. Now I talk about positioning. In this slide, I will talk about core DNA. Easy. You just have 3 choices to make. Second thing is use your DNA. Think of what you are really good at and bring that into your positioning statements. And I'm going to talk about that. Amazon is the Earth's most customer-centric company. That's their positioning statement online. And then you see their advertising as well as their product. When you call customer service, someone will pick up the phone. Unlike the Comcast, if you want to cancel, you can cancel. So the marketing is about customer service. Product is about customer service. Disney is the happiest place in the world. The product, when you go to the store and the Mickeys will say hi to you as well as their advertisings. So those two goes hand in hand. Nike. Nike is the world's leader in authentic athletic apparel. Athletic apparel. So why? What does it mean? It's authentic. What does it mean authentic? Means if you just do it because you are real authentic player. So you just do it, you will win, do well, right? Because you are authentic, real player. Even though they sell to no sport person at all, right? We all do, we all have it, right? But that's their brand positioning. Number 3, you already learned 2 things about positioning. Number 3, brand architects. All right, this is a fun one. We have all these architects. Take 10 seconds. Who are you? Are you ruler? Are you caregiver? Hero? Everyman? Lover? I don't get it, Anya. What do you mean? Okay, let me tell you what you mean. Ruler. Power isn't everything, is the only thing. Brands, Rolex, Benz, right? Look at the advertising. It tells you about ruler. You are the ruler. And think of that. Uber is like a ruler. How about for creator? If you can imagine, it can be done. Like Lego. Lego is a creators. Or like 3M is creators. Are you a creator, the creators? Who else do you think yourself is a creator? Not much? Come on. How about Sage? The truth will set you free. Like the brand, CNN, look at their ads. Live from the source, right? And like the other brands like Philips or Google, McKinsey, IBM's, were like the economies. Those were the Sage brands. Explorer. Don't fancy me, I'm exploring. Who is the explorer here? We must have explorer because a lot of immigrants here. You guys probably explorers. And like Nose Face, look at their ads. Never stop exploring. Like they actually say they are explorer right there. Indiana Jones, Starbucks, explorer. That's why Starbucks have the mark in every single cities. The product, the marketing, those 2 goes hand in hand. Who here is innocent? Anyone innocent? Innocent? Great. Free to me and you. Just like Dove. Look at Dove ad. It's pretty innocent, right? You can tell that it's innocent. Tom's shoes. The product. I want to get one to the child. So does marketing. The product and marketing goes hand in hand along with their brand architect. Maverick. Who is Maverick here? Maverick? I'm Maverick. I know I'm Maverick. I like to break rules. You want more made to be broken. Like Harleys, right? And Harley Davidsons, and also the Virgins, Red Bulls. These brands were perfect. You think of their ads. Look at this. Find your wings. Like they are Maverick, of course. Hero. Who are hero here? Anyone? Come on, you must have some heroes. Heroes like FedEx, even Nike was hero. If you think of the ad before, lecture for seasoning, you are like you are authentics and authentic footwear. So you are a hero like FedEx. They literally have ads about heroes, like they deliver right there, right? Or you are magician. Who is magicians here? Anyone? Magician like Disney. Disney is definitely magicians. Look at their ads. So does other company like MasterCard. Remember they have ads where like you're traveling and suddenly with some like very cute stuff show up. Instagrams. They are magicians. How about for jester? Who's jesters here? Jesters? Great. You are innocent and jester. I do have two. I think I am like caregiver and ruler as well as a maverick. You only live once for your life. So like, look at Geico. Like Geico's ad was so hilarious, right? So there's a brand architect pretty clear, South by Southwest. So when you get on the airline, the product is the airline attendees will be like, hey, let me tell you a joke. Today I am going to Hawaii. It's fun. It's funny, it's fun, it's hilarious. And how about for everyman? Sorry, I just don't have any brand personality. I'm just normal. Great, then you got a brand personality, you call everyman. Like IKEA. Like we actually love everyone and everyone will love us. You will spend 2 hours building your chairs and because we love you. And same thing for Facebook. Facebook is actually an everyman brand. And think of that Gap. It's a everyman brand. Lover, I only have eyes for you. Look at the ads. Like, right, Brad Pitt. I only have eyes for you. Totally lover brands. Are you anyone's lover here? Come on, must be a lover. Victor, where's Victor? Victor, the winner. Who are you? Jonathan, who are you?
Maybe creator.
Creator, great. So Chanel, right? We're like Haagen-Dazs. We're like the brand like chocolate brands. They are lovers and and caregivers, helping other people like Volvos or GEs. They are helping other peoples. You know what? You may say, Anya, come on, like. Lover, of course, I sell chocolate. I have to be a lover. No, not really. If you think of this, Lyft and Uber, they sell exactly the same thing. Slightly different price. I came here, one of them was like 2 cents short, and I decided to take the ones. So, but it's exactly the same thing. But look at their ads. One is ruler, which also reflect to their product, as well as one is caregiver. Exactly the same thing. Right? Like Nike as well. Like Nike could be the hero, while other brand could be totally opposites. And they could be competitor. Like Gap's is everyman, but Nike is a hero. They actually sell pretty much the same thing for sportwear. Great. Now we have learned about positioning. So 3 things, remember, we talk about, what was that? Let's go back here quickly. 3 things. What's your company DNA? And then what's your position statement, which is the stuff that really tell about your strengths, differentiate yourself from other people, and can be inspirational. And what's your archetype type? All right, now we already have positioning. It's time to get into outbound marketing. Now it's ready to do advertising. Let's see what's that. Okay, outbound advertising. First things, 3 things. I will talk about audience, channel, and message. And then I'll talk a little bit about growth marketing because it's trendy. Everybody want to hear about it. Audience. It's just a funny pictures about that I was doing yoga. This was a teacher, was supposed to like that, but I was doing like that. So every audience is different. And let's start with a consumer-centric. Oh, Anya, I think I heard about that before. It's the same style. No. We start with a product, which is people problem. Back to marketing, back to the same thing. Who are your audience? Anya, I have MBA, I did my marketing, there's a 4P, right? Like you want to talk about that, like the place and the price, the promotions, there's a product. No, forget about that. It's a digital age. Think of consumer-centric. It's important to remember that because remember, marketing starts with a product. But it's important to think of consumer-centric, which is opposite. Because if you think of the 4P, 4P is not from consumer, it's not consumer-centric, it's company-centric. It's like, I have this product, I have this placement, I have this price, and I have this promotion. Ta-da! Doesn't work anymore. It works, but it works better now when it's consumer-centric because we have digital channel. We actually know the user, and then every single touch point, it can be personalized to 100% for the users, right? For example, I probably know the guy like, you are a DNA expert. I will never send you the advertising because you won't believe in me. Perfect, right? So I won't be able to do that. So think of a consumer-centric approach. Start with the user journey. The same thing when you do the product. How do I know what's the people problem? Anya, you were saying the airport things, the kids is crying. The same thing. Back to your user journey, where they have pain points and where they have needs and wants. Because sometimes they don't have pain point, they just have needs and wants. Like when I go to Target, I just actually don't have pain point of buying those apparels and stuff. I just have needs and wants. So thinking of their journey to identify that and start thinking of after that, go to the channel. All right, which channel? Anya, tonight you're supposed to tell us about digital marketing. So should I buy Facebook or Google? Like, tell me now, okay? I just need the information I can get out here. But the fact is, the channel has so many options. And it doesn't really matter which channel. Because it's all about which journey where you are. Are you in the consideration? Are you trying to figure out if you see other Instagram, what everyone share? Should I look at a product review when I decide to buy apparel? So I'm not sure. And if you look at this chart, this is my org chart. If you're in a marketing organization, you can be starting here, have marketing analytic org, which has some engineer, I'm sure some of you guys are, and have a multicultural marketing team, which is a team that sometimes will show me like McDonald's ad in Chinese, that's a team does. Or it will show like affiliate marketing. For example, when you go to like coupon123.com, I'm ready to buy, but I just want to collect that coupon. That's affiliate marketing. Or it could be a creative team, which is a team that do all the artists, design, and the copy. Or it could be a public relationship team, which is a team manipulate with advertising, like news. And also doing like social media nowadays. Or we call it community management. Or there could be a team of like traditional marketing, which has like TV, radio, and print, and outdoor, or it could be the news email marketing. Sometimes we call it CRM team, which is they send email, they send others push notifications, or it could be display, like so many of them. How do I decide? It only matters who is the audience, your audience, at what moment of time. This can help a little bit. Are you trying to drive awareness or adoptions? Of course, everyone wants to drive adoption. I know that. But just like building adoptions is like, I want the 11th floor, but please don't build me 1 to 10th floor. That doesn't work. So you need from awareness all the way to retention adoption. Each channel has a difference on that. For example, awareness. Like outdoor, traditional media, or online display, or PR, they are meant for awareness. And then from consideration, paid search, search engine optimizations, those were things primary for consideration. Why? Because I'm already typing, right? So I actually already I'm considering to buy something when I type on Google. And from adoption, like affiliate marketing, like retail me nuts, like coupons. I already actually want to buy, or like kayaks. I actually already want to buy, but affiliate is direct me a last point to say, you know what, I'm not buying because this coupon is better than the other. Affiliate marketing or retargeting, like when you go to a website for searching some airline tickets, after you go to another random apparel website, sometimes it shows apparel, the retargeting of airline tickets. That's already in adoption because I already showed that I have interest. And finally, you get into the retention, like you use email, push notification, or loyalty program. Like I hate United so bad, but I still take it because I'm the 1K member. Or the referral program, where now you love it so much, you decide to give someone else a coupon of Uber and say, hey, please also be an Uber so I can make $10 from you. It all depends where you are, but then you have to remember, if you only do adoptions, you will have some ceiling. Because you only have a little pie. I know I only want retargeting because those were highest ROI, but your funnel is really small. So always remember like where you are. You could be driving awareness now, but later you can capture the introductions. Anya, you work for Facebook. Tell me something you don't know. I don't know about Facebook. Search is all about intention and context. Facebook is all about people and community. Think of this. When you are search, you actually have the context. I'm trying to buy this ahead. My refrigerator is broken, therefore I want to buy a refrigerator at this context. I am actually ready to go to Hawaii. I'm searching for that. I have this context. You have intention in mind, you have context in mind. Therefore, when you run search advertising, have to remember, oh, what was that? Ooh, what was that? Oh, where? Journey. I'm running search advertising. So where are you in the journey? Are you almost ready to buy, or you were just exploring because the keyword that you search at this time and the day and from these devices? So when you do search advertising, it's all about the moment of the context. But when you do Facebook advertising, I don't know what you are looking for, but I do know who are you. I know your community. I know who are your friends, your mom, your cats, and your other stuff. And I know which groups you're in. It's all about people and all about community, all about you, what you care, which you probably will inspire of something that you don't even need or have intention of searching for, and you still buy it on Facebook. Message. Last piece of message, you have channel. We talk about audience. Now we talk about message. Okay, Anya, it's time to talk about growth marketing, right? You put this in the advertising, that's why I'm here. I want to hear about that. Growth marketing, just like agile product management, which I think a lot of you guys know, you guys are like wonderful engineers. It's all about iterations. Why? Because in the old time, when we do advertising like the Mexican campaign, like we say, you know what, Anya, that's not realistic. But the campaign is run for 3 months. We will take the feedback, and next time when we run the campaign, we will consider it and adjust it. That's 3 months from now. Come on, 3 months is a long time in digital. But if I run a paid search right now, oh, this audience told me like this is not realistic. I can change real time. How about buy a different keyword, real time right now? So growth marketing, the reason it's so popular now is we couldn't do this before because of not that many of digital marketing tools. But now we have it. But the same thing, the concept as agile, the same thing. It's all about iteration real time really quickly for that. So A/B testing tool is actually a wonderful tool for using, and a lot of you guys probably use it today. And second thing, you may think of growth marketing. But I heard it's all about like refer a friend or something like that. Yes, because right now, besides doing things in digital marketing, you do digital marketing, you can do is using your product because you can change it right away. You guys are engineers, you know that you can change it right away. Like, let me touch this code, now you have this new function, so we can change it. Exactly. That's why growth marketing, the whole concept is just you can change it right away. That's it. So then you can keep iterating. All right, this one is about message, right? So 4 best practice for you to go home to remember. 1, eye-catchings. And frame for 4 to 5 because this is what the phone looks like. Short. Customizing, optimizing without sound because we all know we don't always have sound open when we look at the Facebook ads, especially when you look at that in the meetings. Let me frame it differently. eye-catching, like love at the first friend. And friend for the feeds, like it's Facebook feed. You got to fit into the feed. Short and sweet. And silence could be fine. Love at first sight. When you open on the ads, if you have to wait for 3 seconds before you see something interesting, come on, you already close it. People. Let the people to tell you the expression, like interesting people. Center of an object. Let the object tell you the narrative of what? Of the positioning I will try to say. Yes, you look fun and interesting. Come on, it's actually all designed to iterate and illustrate the positioning we talked about earlier. And what's the positioning for? To solve the people problem we talked earlier. What people problem? With the solution, with the positioning, and the right channel, and now with the message. First friend is iconic. Just like when I see this, I cannot move my eyes over. Friending for your news feed. Make sure it's like right for the vertical on the phone and the context is moment of the channel in the journey. Come on, this one you can tell is short and sweet, right? I'm so short and I'm pretty sweet. As a person who do marketing for Wi-Fi for countries that don't have internet, I constantly go to Nigeria and Ghana and Tanzania and was able to visit some of the trial there. Silence go. Think of your advertising. If there's no voice, is it still worked? It should work because we didn't have voice before. Title, subtitles. Like yes, subtitle is needed now, but you can make it interesting. Look at the IG, the different type of ads, so interesting. So tonight, if you didn't remember anything, this is summary slides. Think of your product. Start with mission. Why would you do that? Oh, because Facebook want to bring the world closer together. So I will probably do some solution actually about bring people to do yoga instead of just send them push notification. I can, but it doesn't fit into a company mission. And remember think of what's the problem you're trying to solve. The problem I try to solve is the person want to kill time. So mission to bring the world closer together, and the person want to kill time because they are not a loyal person for my airline because they probably will change to other airline company. So then my solution was, how about you do a Candy Crush or a yoga class in the airport? So then those two tie together. In between, the insight is provided by marketing. And product marketing is about message and channel and a right audience. Start with a consumer insight, thinking of the message that at the right moment, in the right form, such as nowadays is a vertical 4 to 5, and also thinking of the channel you want it for awareness, consideration, or adoptions. So with that, I would like to thank you everyone for hearing the presentation. And if you want to have a presentation, you can message me on Facebook. Thank you. Questions? Yes.
Go back to that positioning and the branding slide.
Yep. Wow, so many slides. Great. So who are you? This is a fun one. When you go home, make sure you play with your families. Who are you? Are you a lover? Caregiver? Yes.
Just wondering, are those lines under the black column, are those like subsets of the...
They are not subset. They are also really important. I didn't have time to talk about this tonight, but they are not subset. For example, but they are important input for the statement. For example, differentiator or the category or the value props. They are important things eventually fit into the product positioning statement. Give you an example. Tesla, it doesn't sell cars. What Tesla selling is not a car. So when you buy a car, you're not competing with Tesla. So Tesla didn't put themselves in a category of a car category. It's not. So that's what the important information to put into your positioning statement. But it's not a subset.
Okay, so like
that could be a step, but all informations are important here as a different element. But position statement combine them together, some of the information together. Any other questions? Yes.
I'm just curious, when you were doing the target ad, you decided to do Apple but not Android tablet.
Yeah, because I found that our target audience are young mom, but they are actually a little bit affluent mom, and they're mostly using iPad instead of Android. So I decided not to do Android and start only doing iPad. And I also decided not to do desktop because internally we have another desktop team, and in order to do that, there's a lot of coordination, and I didn't want to do so. So I decided I'm a maverick. I decided to try that myself. So I start with a user, which they need an app, they have iPads, and also they love inspirations. Yep. Yes.
When you developed the app, when was that? Or was it?
When Apple just launched iPad, not very long, 2015, 14, 15.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you said when you do the Wi-Fi marketing, and then frequently you travel to Africa because they are the booming users, right? So the purpose of a trip is to understand what your customers needing, like observe the whole.
Yeah, the purpose of the trip is understand the consumer insights. Sometimes we do research there. Sometimes we have meeting with the partners, or sometimes we have outbound marketing live in the market, and I need to make sure the advertising does look as good as the design that I receive it.
Right. How do you think of the business in Africa, like overall?
Business in Africa is booming, like huge market, huge market.
Right.
Cool. Any other questions? Yes.
You kind of hint that there's inbound marketing as well. Can you just touch on what?
Inbound is a research. So like consumer insight, like how do I know I'm going to build iPad apps? I don't know. I look at the insights of moms like, hey, when you go to the store, what do you need? So I didn't tell a story, but let me ask you guys. So at the time when I launched an iPad app, my peer also launched a whole bunch of exciting, amazing things. One thing that he launched, you remember 5 years ago, everyone talked about omni-channel. It's all about online, offline, omni-channel integration. The retailer has a bright future because they still have a store and digital. So then my peer decided to launch a function called in-store GPS. And based on one insight, and the insight was like, when you go to a store, you sometimes forget about one thing, right? That you go home like, wait, that one thing I forgot and I bought another 20 things that's not on my list. So then he decided to launch a feature called in-store GPS. You go to a store with a list, you will turn right, turn left, and then you got it. Launch a feature, no one uses it. Why?
People enjoy shopping, browsing.
Exactly, because who is the audience? It's a mom. They want to get lost in the store. Who want the GPS? I'm here to get lost. It's my oasis away from my 2 annoying kids. So even though there's an insight, yes, you may forget about one thing, but the problem statement is not big enough compared to the value of customer looking for. Therefore, when you ask them like, what's inbound? Inbound is an insight. That how do we know this? Through the research. Or I didn't list here, but we usually do is like giant persona. Like, okay, what does a mom do? What kind of brand? What's their personality? What's their needs and want? What devices, time and days, and using what's their mindset and different things. And that's where the insight comes in. Yes.
So you say 4P doesn't work well now. Can you talk more about that? So by that I mean the product of 4P also come from customers segmentation and customers.
Yes. It's still really important, of course, because every like books still talk about 4P, and that's why I start with a product. But my point is here is that when you design outbound marketing, nowadays it's consumer centric because tonight here we have 50 people. Everyone tonight can receive very different advertising on your Facebook feed, right? Everyone's different. Can we do this? No. 10 years ago, no, right? But we can do this today because digital and with these personalizations, which we were not able to do that much before. So the 4P was mostly when you design in a time, not consumer centric, because you cannot really do that. So all you think was like, okay, what can I offer to people? But then now, when you think of outbound marketing, yes, product is still super important, placement is super important, but it's also important to think of a consumer because you can design 100% personalized message with the right channel to them. And it's easy to do. So that's why consumer centric is really important now. And that's also why the whole thing is why growth marketing is so booming. It's just because we couldn't really do much of that before until at this point that we can change your app real time and make A, B, C, D, A/B tests, and then so that everyone see different version. Yes.
Also, I think the example you gave tonight is mostly about consumer, like individual consumer, but then there are business or products that's for business, like SaaS or B2B.
Yeah, could be.
How do you think, because they're usually user versus accounting player, different kind of people in the organization. How do you target that? How do
You mean how do you like B2B?
Yeah.
I think it's a similar concept. It just maybe the tactics or the time could be different. For example, the channel could be different. For example, in B2B, maybe the channel will still be using like a trade magazine, for example. Like here, maybe in B2B world, you'll do a lot more PR to make sure and white papers to do that. Or you may still do traditional like trade show. You may still do B2B magazine, but the concept is the same. Like what's their pain point? And what journey they need what information, and how do you use this channel to target them at the right time with a message that's interesting to them. And the message, when you deliver the message, your product actually can deliver based on the message that you told them. But it's a similar concept, but I would say this is much more, the tactics could be different. All right, okay. Yes.
Seems like with the digital transformation, it's much easier to track the effectiveness of marketing, let's say from clicks and so forth.
Yes.
But then if you move to traditional marketing, trade shows, billboards, magazines, it's just much harder to track the effective marketing because that data seems to be more offline.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see there's tools that can solve this problem, or do you see that in the future, if this transformation just continue, that the traditional marketing would eventually phase out?
Yes, yes. So the questions, if you people didn't hear it, was like, hey, but in some tool, in some like traditional marketing, it's hard to know if it's effectiveness or not. Like I see a billboard, how do I know it's impacted? Many ways. For example, today there's a company like called even Facebook, or a company like called Placed. What does it mean is that like when I work at Sears, like if I show you display ads, which is on the top, who remember when you click on an online banner? Nobody. But why they are still online banner? Must be effective, because otherwise who will buy that, right? But we cannot remember when was the last time you click on that. But how do you measure? For example, then there's a company called Place, like they will use some panel base to know it actually if you go to physical store, but not individual one-on-one, but they use that panel to look at the sample size, and they will say, oh, actually those people who see ad, they are more likely to go to the store. Or sometimes when you go to the store, for example, if at Sears, for example, when I go there, we'll send you a digital receipt. Right? Or sometimes nowadays you go to like Gap, they was like, do you want digital receipt? So you never miss a receipt anymore. And when you open the receipt on your phone, the cookie fires, everything connect together. I knew that you saw the ad 3 months ago. Now you go to the store with a digital receipt. So there are many ways nowadays to link those together. And I won't say it's perfect, but a lot more way to be able to find that if the online and offline is actually effective or not.
So,
yes.
So you're at the head of Facebook Wi-Fi, and how do you apply this logic to your Facebook Wi-Fi plan? Because I assume your customers audience are governments and countries and big organizations, and does a customization, like 100% customization, still apply in this case?
Yeah, okay. The question was like, how do I make sure that these like personalization type of things can be applied for when I do Wi-Fi stuff? It can be applied to consumer when we do Facebook advertising, for example. Like when people buy Wi-Fi, if they are, sometimes they are not never online. They are online, just they are not very often because Wi-Fi is expensive or data is expensive. So we can use digital channel. Or for example, in the positioning, the reason that I worked with Andy was that we want to know like how do we position the Wi-Fi to the different countries, right? Because Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi, like how would you position? But just like Nike, like the stuff is like I sell Nike jean, like the pen is identical to like Puma's pen, but through positioning you can actually make the product different. In some cases, like you buy like Verizon or AT&T, yes, you probably mostly buy because of price and a signal. But when you think of them, the brand is different. Like T-Mobile is different, AT&T different, Verizon is different. You do still have things that can be somehow differentiated, even though in a commodity, yes, it's really hard. Right, last two questions. Yes.
I'm confused. So,
yes.
Similar product, is the marketing people saying the truth or they packaging it?
It's both, right? Think of this, like Disney. I cannot say it's magician if when you go to the store, the Mickey Mouse will yell at you, right? It's product and it's marketing. It's both. And the same thing, like Lyft or like Uber, I probably cannot position Uber as a caregiver, right? Because for many reasons, like I heard they treat their driver not as good as some other company or what, right? The same thing, like probably if Lyft want to be like really fun and interesting, they may not be perfect fits. The same thing for like every man, if I am Gap, but I want to be a moderate of Gap because when I go to store, the clothing will be very interesting. Like it have to be both. Marketing have to communicate what the value probably deliver to people, but the product have to deliver that in order to make marketing effective. Last questions, yes.
Can you share with us some insight about how Facebook plan out their marketing effective and some takeaways for small business owners?
How do you allocate marketing budget? So I would say back to 101, like what's your ROI that you think you are willing to provide? For example, like what's your lifetime value for your customers? Yes, you're a small business, but you probably know on average how much you make per user from when they buy your product. Say if your lifetime value is $10, then your marketing is supposed to be less than $10, otherwise losing money, right? Unless you have strategic reason. You know what? I'm going to win the market because it's winner takes all type of markets. So no matter I'm losing money or not, now I want to win the market, and then from there I'm going to raise price later. But the 101 is thinking back that what's your lifetime value for your customer, and then thinking of like, okay, then my cost of acquisition, you want to be half of that or the same of that. And then from there, you think how many users you want to drive, and is realistic you have that many users because in a funnel that we talk about, does it realistic the market size is that big that you can get that many users? Right? If I want to drive awareness, like, do I really have that many like young moms go to Target store that I can target to? And then from there, thinking of like how you this time together, that do you have that much budgets to be able to do so?
So from your point of view, is there a lot of assumptions?
Yes, of course, lots of assumptions. Like when you do the budget, lots of assumptions, but then it's the power of the growth marketing, right? Because once you do that, you can keep iterated. Right? You will say, I'm assuming this message should work better than in another message. But then you run A/B tests for 2 different Facebook ads, which should be easy. You can do this in next 3 hours. They have them run 3 hours for these 2. Looks like this perform better than the other one. Shut down this one, launch another new one, and then keep iterated.
So that's probably a very systematic way for the Facebook, like big company. But for the small and
No, if you run Facebook ads, like you only need budget for $10, $5 you can do that. Google ads, you budget for $5, you can do that. That's why digital make it interesting. Like run email marketing, right? You send to 20 people versus another 20 people in different versions. See how many of them respond, how many opens. It's a lot of even free tool for email marketing. You can track that. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. All right, thank you so much for tonight and appreciate everyone's patience. If you are interested in the presentation, feel free to message me here and I will email to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anya, to bring us the informative presentation. And I was also thinking about who am I now? I'm